of the Italian Concerto.
You have a couple of things in addition to the slow movement?
Well, I want to ask you about, I want to check my understanding. When you say elastically loaded,
Yes.
I'm, I want to check my physiological understanding of what that means.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'm, so, so my extensor is working and is putting stretch on my flexor. And if I want to really, do it even more and drop my arch, then I'm really getting more stretch on my flexor. Is that what you mean by elastically loading? I'm elastically loading the flexor muscle, and then when I play, there's the um, there's elastic strength because the elasticity is shortening and the muscle is not muscle fibers are shortening.
Yeah. So elastic loading is when a muscle is pulled tighter while it's trying to shorten. Like if I just pull my finger back and I'm not and my finger's totally relaxed, there's no elastic loading because
Right?
the muscle just gets longer. But if I'm trying to shorten it and then I pull it back, now I'm pulling the elastic tighter. Actually, if I pull the finger back, and there is some elastic loading. But if I do it against resistance, there's even more elastic loading.
I didn't realize that.
Elastically loading is put is putting elastic energy into the muscle by stretching it. That's the physical definition of elastic loading. It's like if an elastic is just at rest, it is not loaded at all. It's
Right?
not going to go boom. But if you pull it, then it will go boom. When you pull the elastic, you load it with elastic energy.
Why isn't that different with just passive stretching?
Well, I'm not sure. I think I'm not sure when I elastically load my finger, I'm not consciously trying to flex my finger as I pull it back. I'm just pulling it back and then letting it go. So there is some elastic loading there. Uh, and presumably you don't want to go to the place where you're trying to flex the finger and trying to pull it back at the same time to get even more elastic loading. Presumably that's not a done thing. So it's just pulling the flexors tighter so that they let go, which is different from you see here the flexors didn't get pulled tighter because they're already in a 90-degree angle.
Right?
Now they're in a 180-degree angle, so they're going to be tighter.
Someone's
Show
on.
that show that again. The 180 degree. I missed that.
The finger flexors, the lumbricals and the interosseous,
Mute
they're
yourself if you're not part of this.
what's going on here? Is somebody not muted?
You hear that crosstalk?
No.
Well, Amy is
Muted, Diane.
Diane, can you mute yourself? Okay, now it should be better.
Okay. Well, anyway. Okay.
Everybody seems to be muted now. Okay,
Okay. Well, that was just kind of a. I just checking my. I just like to understand the mechanism.
yeah, like
So,
if I do a whole finger flexion, now my lumbrical interosseous contracted, but that's not elastic loading. They're contracted and they're loaded, and now they're loose. But if I pull it back, then they are loaded elastically rather than contractively. See, this loads the muscle contractively. They contracted.
the
And now
flex.
this loaded it elastically. And now when it lets go, there's going to be some contraction, but there's also going to be some elastic release, which makes it lighter. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm glad you're bringing it up. It's really complex. And
Yeah. 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 No,
it's someone
I
like
re-
Wanda Landowska can do it, and there's a couple of other pianists that you see doing it, but it's a really, and you may be able to use it well, but it's quite an advanced technique.
I haven't worked with it much, so I was just really. But didn't this first come up in when reading about the physiology of running and
That's
how
right.
there was elasticity in the leg, the lower
That's
leg, or something like that?
Yeah, it's a video on YouTube called "The Principles of Natural Running" by Dr. Mark Kukazel, and I could put that in the chat afterwards if somebody reminds me.
Okay, principles of active running.
Principles of Natural Running, Mark Kukazela.
Okay, I might go back and look that up again.
And of course, Kemal's playing. That's what got me onto this because his fingers are so active and they're so obviously pulled back many times.
Interesting. Okay. Right. So I can. I One other thing I'd like to focus on is my left hand feels so much clunkier than my right hand, like just playing a scale.
Yeah,
So that's one thing to look at.
show me that.
But I don't want to shortchange the Bach. But I could also play just the first two pages of the Bach.
No, no, let's do this. Let's show me the scale thing with your left hand.
Okay.
We'll do it.
Okay. It's when I'm going with my thumb under.
And do the right hand going up so I can see. Yeah, okay.
Right? Yeah.
So your thumb needs to unoppose. So that's the movement that it's not doing. So in slow motion, it's that reverse opposition. And now, oh, you're sunk.
Where?
Here, you put your, thank you, Amy. You put your thumb, you did this for your thumb. You want to put your thumb on the note E. Yeah? This is not
Yeah.
the way to put your thumb on the note E. You reached under by curling. That's the classic thing. We discussed
Okay.
in the lecture. I pass and do not pass my thumb under. So I do not curl it. So you're still curling your thumb. So you need to find a way to get the thumb to its note without any curling. Look, I'm still not curled. I'm still not curled. I'm still not curled. I'm still not curled. I played and I'm still not curled. Now watch. I'm not curled. I'm not curled. I'm not curled. I'm not curled. I'm not curled.
That's a lot of swiveling.
Well, actually, it's a lot of rotation and a little bit of swiveling. It's almost all rotation. Look, I'm not swiveling. I'm not swiveling. I'm
Okay.
rotating. Yeah. Rotate. That's right. You're already too far. And now stand up. You did it. Rotate. Pronate. That's right. Yeah.
Now I'm back to the detailed
Pronate.
rotation of heaven.
Pronate.
So
No.
you're
Look, there's another way of doing it, but that's for later. The other way of doing it is on the fourth finger, you supinate.
right.
So this is the whole weird thing where you go, this might be of interest for some people because some people play a scale by putting their thumb over instead of under. So I put my thumb over. I put my thumb over.
Right.
Yeah, so it's dark. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is not what I'm doing here because I feel you need remedial work.
Okay.
I feel the remedial work here you need is to rotate. It's pronate. Pronate.
Now I'm confused about your word. When you say rotate, I think this.
That's supination.
I think this.
Yeah, I know, but it's the other. It's rotating the other way. It's
Now,
pronation.
okay, that's not swiveling.
Look, watch this. I'm going to swivel. I'm going to swivel. Now I'm
Yeah.
going to rotate. Rotate.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you. That was helpful.
Rotate. And it's beautiful. Now you did it. Rotate. That's it.
Okay, my thumb feels really good. That feels
Yeah.
really great with my thumb.
Yeah. So
So
I
I just
know
I
this,
need to work on that.
you want to supinate, but that's much later.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's when your thumb knows how to stand up. But I saw you now, you're 99% good, but when you're not thinking about it, your old habit comes, watch, stop. Your old
Okay.
habit comes up. You do this with your thumb still. That's
Okay. Well,
why
that's good to know. I didn't
that's
know.
an old habit. So you replace, don't reach for the thumb. You use the rotation to get your thumb there. You see,
Okay.
look,
So, yeah.
my thumb has no habit of reaching for its nose.
But
No,
can I start toward it with a straight thumb like that? Or
the whole idea,
no?
the whole idea is that the thumb individually does not go to its note. The whole idea is that the rotation brings the thumb to its note.
What I'm wondering is if do you have to wait until the last second to do that rotation?
Of course not. It would be impossible if you wait until the last second. Yeah. Just make sure that you're not doing this at all. That's it. That's right. Yeah.
That's very revealing.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So you
Good, good.
replace reaching with pronating.
Great. Okay.
Okay? That'll solve it.
Thank you.
Cool. And now some sublime, otherworldly Bach.
Alan, I need to plug in a different speaker
Okay.
so I can hear you better. It'll just take me a second. Hang on.
Okay. Any questions while she's doing that?
Well, I thought that getting the whole arm involved and turning every time that seems like a lot of work.
It's
Every
putting
time.
the work in the right place. This is work in the wrong place. This is work in the right place.
So it's not the elbow, it's just the wrist turning.
Look at my elbow.
Yeah. Your elbow isn't flopping.
Pardon me?
Your elbow isn't flopping up and down. It's your hand rotating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The elbow goes a little bit. The most classic way of seeing this is in the diminished seventh arpeggios in Tchaikovsky Concerto, the first cadenza. So you see, there's this kind of undulation, and then people think that that undulation is swiveling the hand, and the undulation is mostly rotation. So you see, I rotate it, my fourth is already there. Now I rotate. I rotate. So it's undulating and rotating.
Well, swiveling the hand is rotating. What is that?
No, no. Swiveling is horizontal rotating. We don't want to do that. You do it swivel. You rotate along the axis of the forearm. You understand?
We're not going side to side. We're
No,
going.
swiveling is side to side. You want to eliminate that.
Yeah, gotcha. I wouldn't call this swiveling though.
Well, I call that swiveling.
Okay. Get our terms straight.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Christine.
What is the that sound? You hear that sound?
We don't know.
Okay.
That sound is the internet.
Breathing.
It's the ether. It's Bach's spirit breathing into our lesson.
Okay, so I'm still a little bit in the sight reading phase, honestly, and really at the very beginning of this.
Thank you for your honesty.
Disclaimer, disclaimer. Okay, here we go. Bach.
I don't see your hands. Thank you. A little, yeah. There. Great. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Listen, they have a saying: "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." And basically, your musicianship just shines through. You're like you're a good musician, and just that just is very very much in evidence. So this sort of your sensitivity to the poetry, and to the shaping, and to the harmonic substance. I would There's a couple of things like he gets onto a C major pedal, a dominant of F major for almost the whole second page, and somehow you opened to that, but it's like 8 bars of that C major, and like opening to it like dynamically. Then what do you do afterwards? How do you maintain that sense of opening for 8 measures? So I was thinking maybe make that getting into the C major thing a little more magical, a little more mystical, a little more subtle, and then slowly develop the C major until it resolves in F major. That's one thing harmonically. And then over the page, he kind of wanders more, and he does his classic circle of fifths thing. Like, if I had a dime for every time Bach goes through the circle of fifths, to make a point, I would be a millionaire, right? But at the bottom of the next page, he finally arrives on the dominant of D minor, which is that low A. And that has to be a magic moment. That, like, and then he's going to be, and that low A, of course, that's the mirror of the C major thing, which is the dominant of F, which happened earlier, right? So,
Right.
but now it's the dominant of D minor. Now it's the dominant of the home key. So, like, you just sort of sailed into that measure 37, but that has to be like totally magical. So, just a couple of concerns there, and now I think your right hand. See, there's this idea, when we play. Often when I'm hearing a melody, I don't basically I don't want to be aware that fingers are producing this. So if I hear the fingers, then I'm not happy. I want to hear some other instrument. I don't want to hear fingers. And I felt that most of the time in the right hand you're doing that. Like, I was not aware of fingers producing all those little ornaments and decorations, and it was a melody that was spinning itself out. However, in the left hand, I think most of the work we have to do today is in the left hand. I think the left hand needs to be mystical, and these so what we did today at the very beginning, this uh, amorphous amoeba, this way of. And I would definitely take an amorphous amoeba approach to every note of this left hand. So I need to get keys down, and I need not to be aware that I need not to be aware. So I need not to be aware that his fingers putting those keys down.
Yeah.
Somehow it was too fingery, it was too concrete. So this
Yeah, I feel it. I feel the challenge of this.
so don't bother playing legato. Look, I'm already letting the keys. You see, the keys are already pushing those fingers up. So as I'm going to the next one, the keys are already pushing my former fingers up while the new fingers are going down. So it's only a quasi legato. It's nothing like a full physical. You see, those keys are already coming up. It's just the barely the suggestion of legato. I need to be aware, physically aware of the key's capacity to move my finger back up. The key is weighted. The key, if left to its own devices, will move my finger back up. I have to feel it doing that as I'm going to the next. And while I'm playing, I'm putting the key down, so to speak. That's how we call it. But I'm wiggling it. Look, I only get it down far enough so that it can push me back up again. So you see, I feel I'm in relationship to the key. So you remember how we started today with this kind of
Yeah.
this kind of weird. I've never done that before. It's the first time I ever taught that. I just made it up. And I would play this stuff. I don't. Is it possible for you to do that?
So, yeah, I one question. I worked through the piece and I figured out all these sort of really complicated legato fingerings, and I said, "Oh, what the hell? I'll just use the pedal." So I've been pedaling a lot, and I don't know if that's the right thing to do, or if I should be more really just a finger, do the crazy fingerings and get them all legato with my
But
hand.
but I'm watch
Question.
watch.
Question.
I'm just doing finger substitutions whenever I want.
Okay.
I could do it like this, but the basic thing is that the feeling of my finger is that my fingers feel like my finger feels like
Yeah.
a rope. It's 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 a rope. And now the next ones they're ropes. And now the next ones they're ropes. And now the next ones they're ropes.
I hate doing finger substitutions, but I guess I could figure them out. Okay.
Did you
All
hear
right.
the sound?
I was just goofing around.
Yeah, that's why it was so great.
Yeah.
There. That's right. You see, there's no sense
That
of
light?
percussion.
That light?
Yeah, there's no sense of percussion. It's just you're barely in the key. So you play all these on the escapements. Yeah, that's right.
Now, I did have an idea about this lower note, which was to have it be like a ja.
Sure, sure.
So
Whenever you're
I'm
doing it with it, you're always aware of the key's capacity to come up.
okay. Okay.
Dum, 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 dum. So, ah, for
Okay. I can work on that. Yeah.
so,
Good. Oh,
so the whole thing is played floating,
wow.
simply floating, 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 floating. Bravo. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then I'm never going to go 1-1,
Sure. Go 1-1.
right?
Yeah. Look, I did 1-1 now with no pedal.
Sounded great.
Yeah.
Ah,
So the whole thing here,
I
well,
can't get that one. A second.
listen, Christine,
Oh, yeah.
the whole thing here is that there's a vestigial perception somewhere in my being that when I play a piano, I push the keys down. And here, I'm not pushing the keys down. I'm literally like this with the keys. I'm like this with the keys. So you have to erase all the tiny little traces of the old way where the key goes down. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so quiet. It's too quiet, though, right?
Quiet. It's supposed to be quiet. The accompaniment, for God's sakes. Look, I'm a violinist. Okay, watch me. I'm a violinist. What's going down? Nothing. So nothing's going down. Nothing's going down. Nothing's going down. That's right. This is the touch. That's it. It's a little bit dangerous because you risk not sounding notes. So you have to feel it very well. When you feel it very well, all the notes will sound without you pushing them down. This is wonderful. Bravo. Bravo.
I want to
Bravo.
use a little pedal. I want to use a little pedal there to go 1-1.
I code, do it, do it. I don't, it's
Okay.
fine. Bravo. Yeah. Just remember when you're moving like this, remember what stops you from pushing a key down is that your arm is always floating somewhere. Even here, My arm is floating somewhere. That's it. Now. You see, when you are not inert, the music is not inert. Yes. You are moving, the music is moving.
This is the only place in the whole thing where it goes to sixth. It's so interesting. Every single place is third. So right here.
Yeah, great.
Now, I was thinking, it was written for a different uh, instrument with different keyboards on it, multiple keyboards.
Probably, yeah.
So I
Or
was
actually,
thinking,
this is written for this is conceived as an orchestral piece. This is just
I was just, anyway, I was
like a
reading this.
string orchestra piece that he just decided to write for the piano instead.
I was thinking if this now that we've arrived at D minor again, maybe it goes to a different register on the keyboard,
Yeah.
and then when it gets down to the G major here,
I look. So,
that's
so
not G major, but
the
anyway,
mistake that everybody makes is that when they go to a louder dynamic, like imitating a
yeah,
register change, then they start going down again. And
yeah,
then you
okay,
lose that magic sound. The mysticism of the sound is in the lack of any down impulse. You can do this in forte. It's still
wow,
all floating all up.
wow.
Yeah. I think if you master this touch, and already you're well on your way to mastering it, that touch in the left hand will bleed into the right hand and infect your right hand in a positive way.
That makes sense.
And
Yeah.
I don't think I think you're already doing extremely well with your right hand. So it's not like you need to fix anything, but with this left hand touch informing and creating a mystical atmosphere, the
Mm.
right hand will feel that and play off it and like go with it and have fun with it.
It really confirms some a direction that was starting to emerge, which was when that inner voice of thirds kind of came to life more. The right hand kind of takes care of itself,
Yeah,
and that those thirds are delivering the harmonic progressions. That,
exactly.
and that I don't know how you think it's not a bass note. It's not like it's kind
It's
of
called
a
ground bass. It's a pedal. It's
yeah,
a pedal.
yeah,
It's a
right.
pedal
Well,
and it's a ground bass.
I don't know. It's kind of like, but the emotional quality of that.
Oh, the,
It's
the
I don't know how to describe it. It's kind
the
of like
emotional quality is like undescribable.
yeah,
It's felt, but how can you even put words on that? It's so precious and so intimate and so meaningful. It touches. It touches like a breath. And you
yeah.
have to
Okay.
move your arm. And you have to move your arm. You have to move your arm. Don't forget to move your arm. Because when your arm stops moving, the note dies.
I'm always approaching it from above, so the first one
Yeah.
is kind of
So,
on the fly.
so it's natural to go forward like it's natural to go forward, but you could do many things because it's slow enough. You can
Yeah,
do just forward, you can do forward back, you can figure out some other way of approaching it if you like. You can get very creative. Yeah, you could do that. That changes the emotion.
I was kind of doing this and just doing a really flat finger on the second note,
Absolutely.
kind of a boom, like a
Yeah.
so kind of fly over to it.
Yeah, that's emotional shading. And that gives you the meaning.
Yeah, which and yeah, well, I'll play with
Yeah,
that.
just don't lock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's so consistent. The piece is so consistently written. There's nothing. There's really nothing else.
That's all we have to do. That's
Yeah,
all we have to do.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's all.
Here,
Okay.
when you have counterpoint, you know, the bar, there's a couple of bars, it's the same touch. You know, that's the bottom of page 2, and then of course there's the very end of the piece. And now I always want to add two notes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why he didn't do that. It's like,
I think you're loud.
but you see,
So,
it's the
I,
same touch when he actually goes to polyphony, like voices moving differently rather than together. Then it's basically the same thing. So I really think that the opening up the left hand that way, that's the key. Like
okay.
you're
Yeah.
already playing very well, but when you get that, then it becomes mystical. It really does become
And
otherworldly.
that makes a lot of sense. I found it challenging on the third line, starting measure 8, where the hands kind of are taking turns
Uh-huh.
to. Um, well,
Yeah.
Ed,
Why are you you're just waiting? Why are you just waiting?
oh,
Look,
okay,
now look. Your right hand dies. Why?
yeah,
Because you're not moving. Look. What watch me. Watch my right hand. That long
okay,
note, that's a moving note. Your right hand arm is moving exactly the same way your left hand. My left arm is moving like that. They move together. They move together. They move together. They move together. You understand?
yes,
You felt
yes.
funny there because your right arm died. It just waited there on its note like a
Yeah, I
bookmark.
couldn't, there was
Yeah.
like, yeah, something really missing. Okay, that's
So
cool.
for any piano long note in any composer, Chopin, Beethoven, whatever, you move the arm through the long note as if you were a violinist's bow on a string. And amazingly enough, people say, the idiot physicists, pianists say, after the note sounds, whatever you do can't have an effect on that note. Well, of course, they're wrong because neurophysiologically, your intention to do something after affects how you do something before. So
Yeah,
when your brain knows that you're going to move your arm like this through that entire length of that note, you will play the note differently, and that's why it sounds differently. You released something in the attack which you would not have released if you just played it with a dead arm like a bump on a log. That's right. Bravo. It's so poetical. It's
okay.
just so poetical. It's just like to me it still boggles my mind how much these little details, they don't change or improve, they transform.
Mm,
They
mm,
transform what it is. It becomes poetry. It becomes the language of the soul.
mhm.
Very mysterious.
Some of these right hand passages would be a good place to look at the oblique whole arm. But my question about when I'm
Yeah,
going
sure.
this
Yeah.
way, but when I'm going that way, is it also like
You'll have to
that?
show me. Your camera is too. I don't see
Okay.
your right
Oh,
hand.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, right. Okay. So let's see. So, what's a good passage? Hang on a second. Okay. So starting in measure 19.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, it's doing a bunch of other stuff too, but it sort of illustrates my question.
Hmm. I don't. When you reach for your note with your finger like that, I would.
Yeah.
Yes, the finger does something, but the arm does. The arm does more. Now watch. Did you see what my arm did?
No,
You see, that's very
no.
clear. It's not just this. It's not just that. It's not just the finger. It's not just the arm. It's the finger reaching and the arm fully supporting it. So I felt that you reached with your finger, and then the
Hmm.
arm supported the finger, but not fully.
Okay.
I want that, yes, the finger must reach, but I want that arm support, which is underneath that finger, to be full. Could you do the same place again? I don't see your hand.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, you're not going far enough to the right. Beginning,
Okay. Got
the
it.
very first two notes. You do like this with your finger. Okay, do that with your finger. I don't care. Do it. It's fine. But go all the way to the finger with your arm. You did not complete it. Not over here. It's behind. Ah! Did you feel yourself connect to your note?
Well,
Yeah,
it felt completely effortless.
that's right. That's because you use your bones well.
Yeah.
You
Right.
align
Right.
them. So you see,
Right.
you're moving very well, but sometimes if we look at it, you're a little sloppy, yeah?
Yep.
Because
Yep.
you need the entire skeletal structure always to be behind the finger. So yes, the finger will do something individual, and then the entire skeletal structure will be behind. So that's not far enough. That's too far. And then when you get it just right, why do you know
Yeah.
it's just right? Because you're in unstable equilibrium.
Yeah.
So unstable equilibrium. Where is it? Where is it? Ah, there it is.
Nice.
Huh?
Yeah.
And then actually all the fast notes are moving quickly through little tiny versions of unstable equilibrium. Here, 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 here. I could stop anywhere. So again, it's again, yes. And now, there. So it's once again, it's exactly what Bach said when asked how he played so great. And the part that he left out. He said, I simply put the right finger on the right note at the right time. And what he didn't say was, and I use my arm to do that. There you go.
So,
Then
okay.
your speaking will be even better. Good.
If I do this, my arm is behind, but if I just do my arm, it's better.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
like
I'm going to take that out because it's screwing up
Sure.
my arm.
Excellent. Excellent. Bravo.
No, how about that one? I'm going 4-1.
Good. Move your arm all the way.
No, my wrist is going way up.
Your wrist has to go up.
Okay.
But where's unstable equilibrium? Look, If you didn't have to go any farther, this is the last note of the piece. Okay, find unstable equilibrium on that note. Well, yeah, well, why didn't you do that before? Yes, that's right. Because we have these funny ideas about the thumb.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, it's an arm thumb. It's an arm thumb. So you better find your unstable equilibrium on the arm thumb. All the way. Come on. Further.
Right?
Okay, okay, okay. I was yelling at you because I just wanted to check. Yeah. Next. Yeah, I would do it differently. I would not leave my fingers here. I would bring my fingers in here. Bring them in. And now go back. That's right. That's right. Because that gives the line motoric. That's right.
Wow.
You know why? Because when you leave your fingers here, you're already thinking about the next note. And when you bring your fingers over here, you gave yourself fully to the note C. And now there's a rebound and you can go on. You understand? So you never finished it. Ah, now you finished it. Now you can go on. See? That's like pulling a musical elastic a little tight. You see, I move farther to the C. And now I can go back up the keyboard.
It feels so much nicer on my widow thumb.
It's so much more organic musically.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it takes better care of this little poor thumb here.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. So the technical
yeah,
and the musical go together.
yeah, nice.
Bravo.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions? I'm glad I said after the left hand, okay, that's fine. Your right hand will just get it. But I'm glad we looked at the right hand like this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's very, very good to establish a really high criteria.
Yeah.
When you got skeletal, that means your entire skeletal structure is behind every little bitty witty finger that's playing. Every one of them. It
Mm-hmm.
it took on this poetic nobility of utterance. It was just natural and very deep. And it's honest. It's so honest.
Hmm.
It's really something.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Bravo. Bravo.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Alan. Good, good. I'll look forward to, the tape.
Yeah. I'll look forward to hearing you work that in at some point.
Yeah, and I'd like to come back to the first movement too. I've been doing a lot of that, stuff that we worked on last time. So
Cool. Amy just wrote, it would be great if you could put the two screens on the screen at the same time. Well, you can. So when you guys get a copy of this lesson, a video copy, you will see the two screens large and everybody else's screen small. So how you do that is you simply go up to the right-hand corner of the screen, of the window, of somebody's windows, where you see three dots and you see pin. So like now, but I only add
One at a
pin.
time. It can't pin both, can it?
Yeah, you can pin both. If you can't pin both, then you have to ask me, and then I can allow you to pin both.
Yeah, okay. Well,
But
that
I don't know how to do that.
next time you have yeah, okay. Because no, it was her, I pinned you, and now her thing says replace pin. So
Allow to multi-pin. So now I have to allow everybody individually to multi-pin. Does anybody else want to multi-pin?
there was a music institute where they had them immediately pinned together.
Mhm.
The master class, the
Yeah.
teacher and the student.
If anybody else wants to multi-pin, please ask me. Okay, so let's stop this recording.